Hello and welcome to Fairy Dust TV. I am your host, Jen Burton, romantic fairy godmama for smart, successful single women around the world. And today we have a great topic that I'm going to discuss, something that comes up frequently in the dating realm, and that is dating, anger, and frustration. How to know if you have it and what to do about it. Now, I'm going to confess something. Right before this broadcast, I started feeling pretty bad. So this might be a super short broadcast, which is good for both of us. But I just want you to know that there's a lot to be discussed in this area. And forgive me for making it a little bit short today. We will discuss it more at length at another time. So I'm going to tell you a story. The other day on my website, I received a comment from somebody who was indicating to me that I had said two things that contradicted each other, which I understood exactly what she was talking about. But she had to make the point, instead of doing it in a nice way and saying, hey, Jen, there is something on your website, you said do this, but you also said do this, and they seem to contradict each other. She couldn't just say it and ask it. Instead, she had to make a point of telling me how annoying that was. Now, this is a very mild example of dating anger and frustration, and I do have that directed at me. I do get that from my women sometimes, but it's also an extraordinarily inappropriate way to direct anger and frustration when what you're really asking for is help. And I have very little tolerance for being treated poorly when my intention is to help where I can, when I can. Now, with that said, I want to talk to you about dating anger and frustration. You know, how do you know if you have it and what to do about it? So the basis of how to know if you have it is if you're constantly having conversations with other women. This is one good way to know. If you're constantly having conversations with other women trying to figure him out, you have some anger and frustration with men. That's a telltale sign. Also, if you're constantly attracting the same type of guy that is treating you poorly, you have dating anger and frustration, as well as a host of other things that we'll mention in a moment. So to make a long, big, broad topic small for today, and to give you some nuggets to take with you, is that this is what I believe to be programming that we women are genetically predisposed to. I think we are programmed to find fault. We're always scanning for danger, for problems, for things that we can fix and work on. So it's very difficult for many of us to allow ourselves to enjoy the process of dating and getting to know men. Now, with that said, by the way, the full disclosure, I'm not saying at any point in time that men aren't going to frustrate you or they aren't going to make you angry. I am not making men the angels in the case. We all know as women who have, come so far in our feminine independence that yes, a lot of that obstacle was men, actually all of that obstacle was men, but we're also not recognizing how many men there are out there that support us in having everything we want. And when we go into the dating realm, we take all of those frustrations and we see things in a way that's not helpful to us and that is actually keeping us from having what we want. So the first thing I need you to do, if you're suffering from dating anger and frustration, if you're just feeling overwhelmed by it all, the first thing I need you to do is stop stereotyping men. If you have to classify a man as that type of guy, he's that, this, that, if you have to constantly do that, you're suffering from that frustration and you're never going to get to where you want. I had a gorgeous client once who was brilliant. I mean, she was truly the entire package, but she couldn't let go okay, here we go. My tripod just fell. Isn't that fun? But anyways, speaking about my lovely client, she couldn't let go for the longest time of stereotyping and classifying men, which did nothing for her love life except make things more difficult, make things harder for her to let love into her life. And of course, I'm not even talking about men treating her poorly. She couldn't see past those stereotypes to enjoy the process around her and let herself fall deeper in love. That, my adored friends, is a recipe for keeping men out of your life. It's a defense mechanism, and it's not serving you. Okay, so for the second way to deal with your dating and anger frustration, you need to understand that if you are attracting the same type of man, then it's happening for one of two reasons. The first reason can be that you have really crappy boundaries with men, and we'll have to take care of that in another call and talk about that more extensively. Or number two, you are misinterpreting him. You might be using those stereotypes, or your walls might be so high that he has no chance with you whatsoever. So anything he does for you, you see it as a threat. I had a client once who's, she's really shifted this perspective, but she thought every man that she met was trying to control her. Every single one. So anytime you feel like all men are doing something to you, you know without a doubt that you are suffering from dating anger and frustration. Okay, I'm going to grab some more of my notes here. Now, the third thing you do need to do, and what was really exciting is that one of my girls actually did this, who's on the call right now listening, and I was so proud of her. Well, she took a dating sabbatical, and she decided to get back to enjoying her life and having fun and taking care of herself. It was magical. It took a little bit for her, but once she started doing that, everything rearranged itself for her. And she got back to what's really important. Yes, love is important, ladies, but love without your individuality, love without you taking care of yourself, love without you having your own hobbies and routines and rituals that celebrate you, is love that doesn't have a lot of depth, because then it's all about him. So I definitely suggest, if you are just in that frustration, you can't switch it off for any reason whatsoever, you need to take a dating sabbatical. I even recommend go ahead and canceling on your online dating accounts. And then once let me show you the link. Once you get back, are ready to come back on board, I want you to check out this link and get your 2 chapters for free for irresistibility.com. You can screenshot that if you like. And only come back when you're ready to change your perspective on men. I actually recommend you just assuming from now on, and once you have really good boundaries, this works very well. I want you to just assume that men are there to treat you well, and notice how men will treat you well. Okay, so with getting back to yourself, deciding that you're not going to stereotype men anymore, understanding what your frustration is based on, and getting back to what's important to you if you need to take a sabbatical. Those are the things that I want you to start with for your dating anger and frustration, because I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, there might have been some really shitty things that have happened between you and men in your entire life, but your choice to be angry about it is a choice. I'm going to repeat that. It is a choice. You can keep being angry, and you're never going to get exactly what you want, because you're going to always find fault and always find problems with it, or you can allow yourself open up to the possibilities and open up to the magic that comes with being loved, adored, and cherished. There will be some adventures on the way, and some of those adventures you will fall and skin your knees, but it doesn't make the journey less magical. In fact, it enhances it more. Kind of like adding salt to chocolate milk. Okay, lady loves, I'm going to go ahead and let you go today. If you have Any questions? Feel free to, actually, if you have a great dating question, you can go to my website at havehimyourway.com/blog, and there's an icon on the side that says need dating help. Click here, and then you'll just click there. You'll fill out the form to give me some good details about your situation so I can give you a brilliant answer. And I will see you soon. Ciao, Bella.